Hello, Blue Justin here. Still Justin, still not blue, apart from the blue screen of brain that's on my t-shirt. We have quite a serious selection here today, and because of a combination of money and gift cards that I got for Christmas, and combine that with some New Year's sales and the fact that Amazon said from mid to late January they weren't accepting my Visa card anymore, but if I changed over to another form of payment, they'd give me a gift card on top of that, plus the fact that what I replaced my gift card with was an Amazon MasterCard, meant that I got an even bigger bonus, and I also get points back on buying anything from Amazon, which is extra points because I'm Prime member. By the way, Amazon, not a sponsor. I have taken advantage of all these things, and this week has turned out to be ridiculously huge. So on top of the stuff that I couldn't buy in December in case somebody bought it for me for Christmas, this is just, and all the pre-orders that I'd already had on ready for me that happened to come out in early January anyway. This is just going to be a bit bonkers. So please stay with me till the end, and I promise I'll make it worth your while if you do. Let's get on with it. Okay, first up is one that I believe I had on my top 10 movies that I'd never seen, that everybody else says is really, really good, and I should. And in actual fact, I agreed with them on this particular one especially. There's no particular reason why I hadn't watched it. I just never really got around to it. Not been in the right mood, never actually bought it, oddly enough. But then I saw it at a very, very good price in a post-Christmas sale from Zavvi, because it's a Zavvi exclusive steelbook. You know, as though I never get any of those, do I? And that is potentially ranked as one of the best films ever made, Shawshank Redemption. This is, as I said, the Zavvi exclusive 4K steelbook. It was, so I just got to sort out some of my notes down here. Normally I have about 1 page. I've got 3 pages of notes this week, so it's all getting a bit hectic. And S is quite late in the day, so yeah, I didn't make any more notes than the fact that it was on my list of films to see, and I'd never seen them. And if I was going to get it, why not get it in a 4K when it's reduced post-Christmas in one of the Zavvi sales on steelbooks? So I did. It's not the greatest looking image as far as I'm concerned, but I think it sort of sums up what I understand about the movie, so very nice. Next one up is another Zavvi exclusive steelbook. Again, this was one that I've been looking for some time, but I never got around. Well, I didn't get around to getting it. I didn't buy it because I heard nothing but good things about it, but I always felt the steelbook was a little bit overpriced, and it didn't seem to be selling out. So I was hoping, fingers crossed, they didn't suddenly drop it massively in price and it sold out before I grabbed it. But they did drop it a reasonable amount, and I believe Big Paulie has done a recent unboxing of this, so maybe he thought the same as me, that it came down enough in price to grab it, because, as I said, I've not heard a single bad thing about this one, even though originally it didn't necessarily grab me as something that I would desperately want to get, and that is Cruella. Like I said, obviously the Zavvi exclusive 4K steelbook, maybe not everyone's favourite artwork, whatever, but personally I think it's very striking and a really nice image, and it's good to see something different from the regular Blu-ray and 4K front images. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing this at some point, and seeing whether or not I agree with, like I said, just about everybody who says this is an absolutely brilliant movie. Not okay, absolutely brilliant, but extremely good, shall we say. And next up we have something that I pre-ordered quite some time ago, and that is Casino Royale, Titans of Cult. I really love this movie, and I will totally admit that this is my nth copy of Casino Royale, and certainly I think at least my second, if not more, in 4K. And I've also got three Blu-rays, or 4 Blu-rays, one being the original UK release that's cut, which I upgraded to the Australian uncut one, but it's worth keeping the UK original cut one because the extras on it have never been ported over to any other release. You can tell the difference very easily, luckily, by the way. The uncut one is 15 rated and the cut one is 12 rated, which is why they cut it. They wanted it to sell more because it was a lower rating. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't see it makes that much difference, but obviously they do, and they're the ones who are selling them, so I imagine they have better control over their knowledge of sales figures than I do. So anyway, very nice indeed, as per usual with Titans of Cult. I don't think this one has actually got 2 pins in it as they usually do. This one's got a very nice looks like a poker chip, and if I recall correctly, yes, it's got a mini poster inside to make up for the second pin, as well as obviously a unique steelbook, one with a design you won't find anywhere except in Titans of Cult. So though it's annoyingly wide for the shelf, the steelbook inside will be absolutely unique. So just unique, that was a redundant word, absolutely. I was like, tell myself off for that. Anyway, on to the next one, which is one that was following up from one of my earlier purchases at the end of last year, where I bought Zombieland 4K. This I discovered it was still possible to get the second one, which is Zombieland Double Tap. This is the HMV Steelbook HMV exclusive, so I was quite surprised that their exclusive was still available, but when I found out it was, I leapt upon it quite quickly. Very nice design, I like that. Yes, very nice indeed. I'm sure I had something else to say about this one. Oh yes, I was just going to say, for those who don't know, Double Tap is a shooting practice whereby you rely on muscle memory instead of re-aiming to put two bullets really close together, and you just rely on pure instinctive sight picture, and it really does work because I've tried it. Right, moving on, I picked up the second series of another one I got last year, which was Doom Patrol, which is a DC superhero series. No messing about with this particular one. It's 18 rated for strong language, strong gore and violence. Like I said, I got season 1 at near the end of last year, and this one got reduced, or was reduced down to around about a tenner from, what's it called? D. I should be able to find that. Yeah, just over a tenner, but the official recommended retail is over £40 for this, so it has been much higher up until recently. So I thought, grab it now, because otherwise it will go up in price. I have seen this happen many a time, and I'm not risking it. So grab it while it's hot. Sorry if I'm rushing a bit, but I don't want to be here for too many hours, and neither do you want me to be here for too many hours, I'm sure. This one is an upgrade from a DVD that I had, and it's one of the more modern westerns, but without going over the top down the road of let's make westerns more hugely gritty, like making them into 15-18s, like some of the more recent ones tried to do. But I remember really enjoying it, and this is Open Range. This is a 101 Films release, and I'm not sure what the extras are, which is why at the moment I'm hanging on to my DVD because it's got quite a lot of extras. But unfortunately it doesn't say on the back what extras it has, so I have to open it and put it in the machine and check. But I do know that it's one of the tracks on it is supposed to be a commentary track, so I'm assuming that means it's got a commentary, which is at least similar to the DVD. So anyway, yeah, it's the one's all about 4 cowboys just trying to escape their past, driving cattle for a living legally on non-owned land, which is called Open Range, thus the title. So it's free grazing outside of the law, and a nearby rancher, ruthless and evil, tries to run them out of town. Yeah, as you can imagine, it's very similar to the modern situation of people don't want people getting away with stuff for free. They want everything to be owned so they can be charged for it. So you can relate to that in a certain way if you like. And then it takes a obviously violent turn for the worst. Explosive action, gunfights, whatever. And the cast is well worth checking out, in my opinion, where you've got the cowboys including Robert Duvall and Kevin Costner, and alongside them their probable love interest somewhere, or at least their supporter, being Annette Bening, and the evil landowner Michael Gamble. Oh, I bet he's going to have great fun playing that role. Right, let's get on with the next one, which is one I've been looking forward to for quite some time. And the title I've been looking forward to, as you might well have guessed, is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And yeah, been looking forward to this one for some time. Now, I know that the movie has not got the best reviews by a long way, but then again, neither did the first one, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm hoping that even those who said this is going the wrong way from the first one aren't going to affect my, well, they're not going to affect my opinion. I just hope they're wrong, in my opinion, when I get around to seeing it. I thought I wanted to see this at the cinema, but unfortunately I didn't get time. This one is not only the, this isn't just an exclusive steelbook. I mean, I know Amazon had an exclusive steelbook, which is the same as the steelbook inside this slip, with some exclusive art cards. This one doesn't have those art cards. This is the Zavvi exclusive, but this is the Zavvi exclusive that is only available to red carpet members, and it has a different cover, which is unique on that slip. As you can see, the slip there, quite thick card slip, which is very nice. Really looking forward to seeing that. And as an aside, information flash, I have heard on the grapevine that some people are being charged for their annual renewal of their red carpet subscription around about now, because, and Zavvi is saying, well, we always renew in January, even if you only took it out in, say, October or November last year, which, in my opinion, and obviously the opinion of the law, I imagine, is totally wrong. If you pay for an annual subscription and you paid for a year in the middle to late last year, it should last until that time in 2022. They shouldn't be recharging you in January. So anybody who has a red carpet subscription that should only renew in the middle of the year or later in the year, I would suggest, please, that you check your bank statements or PayPal statements or credit card statements, whichever one you paid it from. And some are saying that it varies whether or not you paid it from one source or another, to see that they haven't taken it when they shouldn't have. They're claiming that it's their standard policy, but that isn't the case from previous years. So somebody's obviously making stuff up as they go along, and I think the more and more people complain, and the more and more this gets spread onto social media, the more and more likely it is they're going to have to back off and realise that they've made a huge mistake in potentially trying to rip people off. Now, and don't get me wrong, I have no beef with Zavvi. I get a lot of my stuff from them, and I haven't actually been on the wrong end of a lot of bad things like some people have. So I'm not out to get them. I'm just trying to provide some information here and point out that if they are doing something wrong, they should be brought to task on it. And that's all I'm going to say. So I'm just, apart from the fact I'm really looking forward to opening this one up and watching it. I would do an unboxing of this one, but it's quite rare. But I think Big Paulie's done one recently on this very item, the red carpet exclusive, as he has with Cruella, which is why there's not a lot of point in me doing that one either. So I shall wait until I get something in that nobody else appears to have, and then I shall, on request, hopefully do an unboxing for you. Next up, we have something a lot less famous, which is a German import with my old mate, mucker, Steven Seagal, Contract to Kill. And this is essentially Seagal doing what he does best, as usual, and somehow on this one he manages to become a CIA and DEA enforcer. Now wait just that extra moment. Have a think about that. I thought those two entities were rather totally different employers, etc., etc. One operates abroad, one operates internally, and therefore that's all a load of rubbish. But who cares? It's a Steven Seagal film. As long as he has an excuse to hit people and shoot people, it doesn't really matter, does it? This one he's going up against Arab terrorists. I think they are in Mexico somehow, and then he has to make sure he sets them off against Islamic extremists who are trying to smuggle weapons into America for an attack, and he wants to play one off against the other so that just to prevent the attack, as well as probably kicking some serious backside himself during the movie. So yeah, this is just Steve doing his thing. This is a German import. I don't think there's a UK one, so it cost under a tenner, so there you go. And next up, a lot higher quality, and this is Say Hello to My Little Gold Edition. This is the 4K of Scarface, as I said, gold edition, very nice. This replaces my Blu-ray. Listen out for more information on that later on in the video. I haven't actually ever seen this all the way through. I've seen some bits, but looking forward to this. Normally I'm not a big fan on mafia films, but for some reason or other this one doesn't seem to set off alarm bells for me, so looking forward to seeing Mr. Pacino do his stuff. Interestingly enough, this also includes the 1932, am I right? Yeah, 1932 version on Blu-ray, which at the time was a groundbreaking film for its era about the mafia and great performances. So it'd be quite interesting to see how, apart from the amount of violence on screen, that the 1932 movie progresses into the 1980, is it 1987? 80, something like that. 1983. So, what, 51 years later, remade as with Al Pacino. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing that one. Obviously, I could say that on all of them, otherwise, because I wouldn't buy them if I wasn't looking forward to seeing them. I do not buy movies just because they're there. I buy them because I want to see them. Just because I don't have enough time to necessarily see them is not the point. Next up is one that I've been looking forward to picking up, and just to prove that just because it's available on 4K, or just because it's actually available on 4K Steelbook as well, if I think it's sold out, I don't always, just mostly, pick those up, and I picked up Free Guy. I liked the sound of it, so I think most people know it's about action-packed comedy. He's a background player he finds out he's a background player in a video game, so I think it's quite an interesting concept, and I certainly want the chance to watch it. If I really, really like it and I think it's worth it for the Christmas of the Image, then I will at some point in the future upgrade, at which point, lucky you, because I'll probably give this one away. So yes, that one is Free Guy. This was on my Christmas list, but nobody bought it for me, so I bought it for myself in the reduced sales. And next up is another one. This one is one that I bought or pre-ordered well before Christmas, so nobody can accuse me of being sneaking one in there. So there you go. And this is the first that I've seen released in this recent batch of the Mondo Steelbooks for the MCU, and the first one out is Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, that might be a surprise to you. It certainly was to me. This one wasn't due out until the 24th of January. Now, I checked after I'd received it to see whether I just got it massively early for some weird reason, and the date has shifted from the 24th of January release back to the 10th, so it's actually only due out. So I only got it, 2 or 3 days early, which is not uncommon, even from Zabby. See, I told you I wasn't anti-Zabby. But just as something to say to anyone who's got these Mondo MCUs that are all coming out around about January, February, March time. Now, a lot of people I know have to be a little bit more careful with how they plan their payments and their money. I'm lucky enough to be able to just put it onto a credit card and sort that out at the end of the month. That is not me, it's just me being lucky. So I know that's not the case for a lot of people who, if they want these, especially when they're all being put out around about the same time, which is very, very overpowering on bank accounts and wallets. It's very, very difficult, and I do agree with a lot of people who've been saying that pushing them all out at once, even some on the same day, is rather inappropriate. But that's what they've chosen to do. However, the point I'm trying to get around to, sorry I've been blabbering a bit, is that if you carefully plan your expenditures so that you would have the correct money in the right place on the right date for the releases, please go and check for the actual release dates, because a lot of them have just, well, not suddenly, I don't know, but this one moved from the 24th back to the 10th. I know for a fact that the one that was due out a couple of weeks time, it's moved back to March. Iron Man 2, I think, is moved. I think one of the ones in March hasn't moved, but practically, I don't know about Thor Dark World. Not that a lot of people will have gone for that one. I like it, but I think I haven't checked that one. But Ant-Man, Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, and Assemble, and Iron Man 2, at least 3 and 4 have shifted release dates. Some of them have moved to the left, some of them have moved to the right. So please check, especially if you're time sensitive, on making sure you have the appropriate amounts of funds in your payment card and things like that. I just don't want anybody to get caught out by the fact that they're moving things around and nobody's noticed, because I certainly didn't notice. I generally rely on the fact they don't move them that often. I know things are shifting generally to the right at the moment, but these things are not just coming under that. They're actually deliberately shifting them left, right. No, they don't know what they're doing. Well, they do, we don't. Next up, this is what I think is a very, very good film, and I'm upgrading from my DVD. I don't tend to put upgrades on my Christmas or birthday present type lists, because a lot of people might feel a little bit hard done by, or off if they give me something. I'd be very, very happy to receive it, but they might be there going, well, you had the DVD anyway. I'm not really giving you anything new that you haven't seen. So I feel it's a bit inappropriate to put upgrades for, especially when a lot of people are quite happy with DVD quality, whether or not aficionados or whatever would certainly prefer an upgrade. But anyway, enough of that. This is The Kingdom, and this one is a really good action film, all about an FBI set of agents that go in to investigate a mass murder in Saudi Arabia, and have to team up unhappily with the Saudi Arabian forces at the same time. Huge exciting firefight throughout, and especially at the end, it's very, very exciting. On top of that, there is, in actual fact, right at the end, I'm not going to give away the details, obviously, but there is a rather poignant and interesting point made in the last couple of sentences right at the end of the film. So I recommend this for all action, war, investigation, crime type fans. It's a good shoot 'em up. It really is, and it's got a little bit more to say than that as well. Next one up is a little bit different. This one is called The Devil's Honey. Where am I with that one? With D. Yeah, this one is 88 films. Yes, it's 88 films, and it's 18 rated, and it's 18 rated for a good reason. Essential plot is that a doctor makes a mistake and kills someone on the operating theatre, and the person he kills' girlfriend decides to take revenge in a sadomasochistic way, and apparently the reviews and such say that it makes 50 Shades of Grey look vanilla in the ways that she goes about it. So we're not messing about here, so don't expect it to be subtle if you are interested in getting anything like this. It's Italian, by is it Lucio Fulci, who did Zombie Flesh Eaters, here's a hint, and who normally does horror stuff. This is essentially his cross between an erotic thriller and a sort of horror-ish type thing, because she's not very nice. So yeah, though however this one is Italian and but it does have an English dub. This one is French and doesn't have an English dub, and this one is Garden of Torment. Now this is another story of depraved, well in this case depraved colonials carrying out torture for their own sadistic pleasures, and the locals, you don't get the idea that I'm just in here for the sadism thing. That's really not me, honest. But I do like to experiment with different types of film, get it from all sorts of different sources. European films of the type tend to be very, very different from the mainstream US or even UK type releases. What's this one from? This is number 6 in some sort of series, but can't quite make it out. This one's about the more full plot is a French doctor finding himself increasingly involved with a group of pleasure-seeking colonials who enjoy the misery and desperation of the local population for their own entertainment. And as he's drawn in by the beautiful but evil Clara and her powerful and corrupt father, he has to decide whether or not he needs to reduce the suffering of those around him, or for his desire for the cold and seductive mistress of the Garden of Torment. So yeah, this one I've actually kept my eye on for a little while, and it's come down quite a bit in price post Christmas. So yes, I'm talking of Christmas. Let's get a little lighter here. We have the Blu-ray of Home Alone. Yep, I know, too late for this year. But previously I only had the DVD, and I couldn't find it because my DVDs are much more randomly placed than my Blu-rays. And I felt after watching it for the first time, yes, I know, don't get me, first time last year, that I really needed to upgrade it to the Blu-ray anyway, and so I could have it ready for next year. Yeah, I know, I'm a filthy animal. So looking forward to looking that one through, especially because the previous one was like 1 and 2 on one disc. It didn't get hardly any other special features that are on this one, like the commentary, making of, all that sort of thing, stunts, etc. I shall get on before the light gets too bad for me to read anymore. Anyway, that's next year's Christmas movie starter. Talking of which, next one up is another Christmas movie that I'm updating from DVD to Blu-ray, and that's Batman. Slightly different kind of Christmas movie. This one has Mel Gibson as Santa. This obviously a German import, so I can't read off the back what it's about, but if I recall fully, that Santa left the traditional lump of coal into the stocking of a particularly naughty child, and the naughty child has hired a hitman to take Santa out. So he has to do something about that. Well, stay alive would be good. So really looking forward to that. Like I said, Mel Gibson playing Santa, it seems very, very odd. So there'll be another Mel Gibson movie over Christmas we'll be watching, apart from Lethal Weapon, next year. And next up, my final Christmas movie that I'm picking up in preparation for next time, which is Krampus. Now, this one's all about a little boy in a dysfunctional family. So many arguments, he turns his back on Christmas, which enrages the spirit of the Krampus, who which means it's unleashed on their family home, and they have to fight together to survive. I hear from lots of people this is actually pretty darn good in actual fact, and at only a little bit over £5 or £6. I have been looking to pick this one up for quite some time, so looking forward to that. Alternate ending, commentary, always nice. Deleted and extended scenes, gag reel. Meeting the cast, behind the scenes. Weta Workshop. I know Weta is excellent. It's going to be excellent quality effects. And galleries. So, yeah, not sure my wife is going to consider this the next year's Christmas movie, but I'm going to sneak it in sometime around about December when she's not there. Next up, one that I'm just moving forward on the TV series of. I have the first season, and this is the second, which is American Gods. I do like Neil Gaiman, who wrote the books. I'm just trying to keep up rather than fall behind, because I know that season 3 is coming out quite soon, so I'll pick this one up and stay up to date. I don't think it's even reasonable that I can go into trying to explain how all the complications behind this rather in-depth interactions of multiple mythology series goes. I think a lot of people have, even when they're reading the books, to try and get their heads around trying to explain it to someone who hasn't read the book. So I shall leave it there. All I can say is it's a nice little sip. Quite not like super hard cardboard, but it's a nice little slipcase there on that there. Last week, you may remember that I received Sherlock Season 4 for Christmas, which was the last season I needed to complete all my Sherlocks. Now, Alan, Kermit's Ghost, thank you very much, pointed out that I hadn't mentioned I think it was a Christmas special, or certainly a special, the Abominable Bride, at which point I suddenly realised, no, I hadn't got that one, and that meant that I didn't have the whole lot all the way through, because I was missing one of the specials, or the special, so I'm not missing it anymore. Thanks, Kermit. Picked this one up. I was hoping it'd be a little bit lower in price by now, considering it's only a one-off special, but I really wanted to have it. I'm not sure about including the colouring poster. I don't think I'll be doing that, but it's got interviews and production diaries and creating the looks, hopefully quite a few writers' interviews, and quite a lot of bonus features to hopefully make up for the fact that it's quite a short, well, it's just like a one-off episode, whereas you consider normally, then again, I suppose even the seasons of Sherlock were only 2 or 3, or sometimes 3 or 4 at the most episodes per, because writers were so busy with Doctor Who and splitting their time and things like that. But anyway, so yes, Sherlock, very happy that I can now really watch from start to finish, and put that on the shelf. Right, next up is one of my father's favourite TV series. Obviously, he died quite some time ago. I wish I'd been able to have a chance to appreciate it more when he was alive. But I also believe that my wife actually quite likes these from her youth as well, would like to watch them again. And I've only seen a couple but really enjoyed them. And I shall now get on with it. And that is the Water Margin complete series. I believe that it was originally split into seasons 1 and 2. It is on the DVDs, but you can't get them separately on Blu-ray. You have to pay out the whole lot in one big whacking payment. So I did post-Christmas. I think it was pretty reasonable, considering price. Not bad at all. But there are 26 episodes total. And the only thing that I think is a bit of a shame is, like, I think it's the same company, Fremantle and Fabulous Films, who did the Monkey on Blu-ray. They have suffered a little bit of the same problem on this one, in that they did have done a very, very good job of going back to the original elements and trying to get the picture as good as it can possibly be from what is remaining and what's available. And they have linked it with the all the English dubs, so that people can watch it more easily in the UK. But like Monkey, they have not included the original language, and they have no subtitles. So if you want to watch it how it would have sounded originally, and then try to do it through the translated subtitles, which I know are more expensive than people actually realise, and it is a very niche type of product. So I do understand maybe why something like this doesn't get that extra treatment. I mean, just because I understand doesn't mean I like it, though. So yes, sad to say, you will have to put up with the fact that it is only going to be English dub and no subtitles. So I'm afraid that is just the way of the world in this particular instance. Anyway, great series about the dynasties in China. The ancient sages said, "Do not despise the snake for having no horns, for who is it to say it will not become a dragon? So may one just man become an army." Nice little Chinese type proverb introduction there. I've really wanted to go back and watch this fully rather than just catch a couple of episodes like I have in the past. So yeah, that is all the episodes of The Water Margin on Blu-ray. Updating again from my DVD set. And talking of which, Jackie Chan, Legend of Drunken Master. This one is very hard to get hold of. Appears to be, well, to be fair, it's not hard to get hold of. It's just a little bit on the expensive side. It's apparently out of print for some reason. So I had to get this one second hand. and this one replaces my DVD of this title. I mean, what could go wrong? It's Jackie Chan. The more he drinks, the more of a skilled drunken kung fu fighter he becomes, and he has to stop the British stealing Chinese artifacts and taking them out of the country. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of a laugh to me, and it's got Chan in it. Come on, buy it, watch it. Moving on to a little bit of anime now. This is just a quick little anime section before the end. Yeah, sorry, as I said last week, a lot of my t-shirts are in storage and I haven't sorted them out yet, so this is I'm using as a generic anime t-shirt at the moment. This is one I picked up and it appears to be relatively well priced, to be honest. Begins with a J, so I don't know why I can't find it. Somehow it's not been put onto my list. Brilliant. This is Jormungand. This is season 2, the subtitle Perfect Order. I got season 1 before Christmas. This is one where the plot goes that the lead character is being, or the protagonist is following one of the main characters, and that main character has an idea as to how to bring peace throughout the world, but it's going to involve an awful lot of destruction to make that peace happen. Sort of, I have no idea what that actually means in practice, but it sounds a bit like one of the Da Vinci Code follow-up films, which involves wiping out an awful lot of people or even the finger snap. I'm not going to do it because I'm not taking a t-shirt, but to wipe out the population to the world or the universe to save everybody else and make it all work. In actual fact, that might be on that in a minute, but yeah. So season 2, the one thing I do remember about it is that it was a very good price considering. This one is another anime set that I got at a good price, and there's one good reason for that. This one's called Black Lagoon, if I recall correctly, and I can't very well read it, unfortunately. I think this is someone who was, I think it's someone who has to do a he works for a big company, has to move something from A to B at the instructions of his bosses, gets captured by modern day pirates. His bosses totally abandon him to die, so he actually joins up with the pirates. If I recall correctly, I think it's pretty highly regarded. What I probably should have done was try to hold out for the one that includes Black Lagoon Season 1 and Black Lagoon Season 2, which is called Black Lagoon the second. I can't quite read that, I'm afraid. I should probably put it up there, knowing me. There is one that also includes the OVA shorts for one of the characters, all in one. And to get those separately is very, very difficult or very, very expensive. So I should probably have waited to try and pick up the set of complete all-in-one that includes all of them. So it would have been cheaper in the longer run. But I saw this one on eBay, and because of a tiny crack in the top corner there of the case, which has no effect whatsoever on the discs, and was totally, and the seller was totally open about it and showed pictures as to what the damage was, which I appreciated, rather than trying to hide it and just go, oh well, I didn't notice when it arrived. I got this for about £10 cheaper than they normally go on eBay even then, and certainly cheaper than you can get them for elsewhere. So very, very happy with that. And for that tiny damage, I'm not even going to even try and find a replacement case, which would be actually quite hard considering how many how unusual that sort of Blu-ray case size would be with lots of those flippers in there. Really looking forward to seeing that. I believe this one's pretty highly regarded, so looking forward to watching all of that. So my throat's getting a bit sore. Not anime, but animation. Looks like it's upside down, but it isn't. This is one I picked up very cheaply, actually. Amazingly enough, just over a fiver from Amazon. This is Inside Out. The emotions inside the young girl who's moved to a new school and a new home. According to all information, supposedly that is what I should have got. That slip design should be a limited edition slip design, but some places put this limited edition slip design with on the normal release, and it wasn't limited. It wasn't limited edition in that way. It's just not many people did it. So it's got the actual barcode for the basic release, even on the slip as well. That one, because it matches. And essentially, I wasn't quite sure about this one when I heard about it. It sounded quite fun, but I didn't know if it was really going to be my thing. I caught about 2 minutes of it on the telly because I think they showed it over Christmas, and then I had to turn it off because I was going out or somebody else wanted to watch something that had been recorded, whatever, and had guests, so you do what they want to do. So I really liked those couple of minutes that I saw, and it looked honestly like something that I would really enjoy watching. It looked like really good fun and really well put together. So I thought, well, what, fiver? Goodness sake, go on, what's the rest of it? And I'm sure I will like it. So there it is, yeah, Inside Out with a slip, available on Amazon for just over a fiver. I believe that's still the case. And on to some big sets of telly that I got. Here we go. Just finish it. These are the last three items, but they're doozies. Here we go. This is the whole series. The whole series, seasons 1 to 4 of The Killing. This is based on a Danish series, which I believe has a title which translates as The Killing, but I don't know whether you can get the original. But if you can, I suspect it would be quite a lot like something like The Bridge, where you'd have to watch in subtitles. Now, I wouldn't mind that because I think my wife would actually quite enjoy the series itself, but she's very unlikely to watch something with subtitles only. So this is the same plot but transferred to the States, where a schoolgirl from Seattle gets murdered, and obviously the crime is investigated, and the whole plot is shown from three different perspectives, all interweaving threads. One from the investigating officers from the police forces, the second from the family and friends of the victim and how they're suffering and trying to cope, the third from the politicians who are suspected of having something to do with the death, which it sounds like it's going to be all very complicated, and that sounds great to me. And talking about a nice complicated series, by the way, I have just started watching a series called Blind Spot. That is nothing to do with a Danish series as far as I know, or anything like that, but I just thought I'd mention it because I'm very much enjoying it, and if you're interested, I'd suggest, if you like that sort of thing, you look it out. It's sort of like the main character, the protagonist, is sort of has the memory loss of Jason Bourne, though in this particular case it wasn't an accident, it was deliberate. More about that if you watch the series. Combine that with mostly a weekly type solve the crime thing from something like, not that I've actually watched any of these even though I own them, but what it sounds like, weekly type solve the crime based on each name or criminal activity that is revealed, as in like Blacklist or something like that. They investigate each week. But the slight twist is that the person without the memories has their whole body covered in tattoos that give away clues to these crimes, and not just crimes, the plots and government potential cover-ups and things like that, miscarriages of justice, and who's on whose side and all that sort of thing. So and that sort of reminded me a lot of the idea behind Prison Break, with the hidden meanings behind tattoos, which they're trying to work out, the FBI crew that she joins. So yes, that's Blind Spot, which is, as I say, in my opinion, a cross between Jason Bourne, Blacklist, and Prison Break. So, and bear that in mind for the end of the video. The only downside of that one I found is that I'm really enjoying it, but only seasons 1 and 2 were released on Blu-ray in the UK. Seasons 3 and 4 were released on Blu-ray in the US, but for some reason have not dropped in price at all. So if I keep on wanting to watch them, this is going to cost me a fortune. That's life. It's life for somebody who likes Blu-rays. There you go. Anyway, on to my next big box set, which is seasons 1, 2 and 3 of The Last Kingdom. Now, Last Kingdom, I know I made notes on this one. Yeah, this one is a series that's still going, So I've got the first 3 seasons, but and I believe season 4 is out, and season 5 is about to be transmitted, or has been transmitted, but isn't out on physical yet. And tells the story of um, the various separate English kingdoms in about 872 AD, falling to the Danes, and with Wessex standing alone as the last English kingdom, fighting for independence and fighting them all off. And the main protagonist is someone who is a Saxon British nobleman, but has been brought up by the Danes, who has to walk the path between the two very carefully, trying to create a new nation, New England, for everyone to get along. Well, not get along, let's face it, it's 872 AD, killing each other all the time. Well, to form a new nation and proceed to the future. So, very interested in watching that. Heard it's pretty good. So, just about able to reach up high enough to stack it on top of the big piles I've been piling up there. And last, but certainly by no means least, I have a series that I have been told is very, very good indeed. It's completed now. It's stopped transmitting, so I can get the whole lot, so I can binge as much as I want. And I believe that it's been recommended to my wife by her hairdresser as well, so we might be watching it all together, so that'd be great. And that is Sons of Anarchy, the whole lot, seasons 1 to 7. Now, I'm not going to say it's the cheapest thing in the world, but considering the original recommended price was something like 140 quid, and it's now down to significantly under 50. And there are 7 series. That means you're getting a whole season of a very well regarded series for less than £7 per season. And I consider that an absolute bargain, as long as you can actually afford to pay out for it in one go. Yes, so that is my final purchase for this week. I'm pretty sure that the rest of next couple of weeks are not going to be anything like as bonkers as this week has been. There will be a big rush of pre-order titles towards the end of the month. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know where they got the idea of, but certainly the various different companies didn't get together and say, tell you what, let's not all release our brand new titles on the 31st of January, because I've got about so many pre-orders of stuff that is almost definitely will sell out if I didn't pre-order it to make sure it was going to arrive, or I actually be able to get it. And it's all coming out on the same day, so that's going to be a week where I probably won't be doing that many off the cuff type things. That's going to be very much a case of these came out this week and I had to pre-order it, but it'll be good in that sense, in the sense that you can say, oh, I'd really like to see that unboxed. So yeah. I'm talking to which, if you ever want to see any of these unboxed, please let me know. And I did say earlier, pay attention throughout, and there will be a nice reward for you if you like. So anyone who has been good enough to actually watch all the way through, and well done to you, if you will tell me what 3 other films or TV series that, and I did summarise them at the end, that I related my present thing I'm watching, which is Blind Spot, to, and put them down in the comments below. First person who gets the 3 items that I mentioned correct, I will send you my Blu-ray of Scarface with Al Pacino that I've upgraded to 4K now. So just put that down in the comments. The 3 things that I said lent ideas into Blind Spot that I'm watching at the moment on Blu-ray. Just put those down, and then I'll say in first person to do so, I'll get in contact, or say so, and then we'll work out a way of getting in contact, and I'll send you this. Okay? Right. Well, thanks again for watching, whether or not you are going to enter and try to get that, or whether you've got it or not. But I do appreciate everybody who watches my videos, especially possibly this one, which has probably gone on for a very, very long time. I don't know how long it's going to add up to once I've tried to edit bits out, etc., stuff like that. But I do appreciate you watching, as always, and thank you very much indeed. I hope you've taken something away from it, so it's been useful. And like I said, I don't think the next few weeks are going to be anything like as busy, because I can't afford it. Though I do get points on my, if I use my new Amazon MasterCard that I mentioned at the beginning on Amazon, I get points back towards an Amazon gift card. So as a Prime member, I get extra points as well. So that's really, really nice. So the more I buy on Amazon, and so I'm really annoyed even more at Zoe now for having all the exclusives all the time. The steelbooks, which I mostly collect. That's a great shame. But also my secondary purchases or older purchases will be through Amazon. So yeah, I'm taking advantage of that as I go along. I'm keeping an eye on all those prices as they drop. But anyway, so in the meantime, I can only thank you ever so much again for watching, supporting the channel. Please hit like if you like the video. It really does help the channel. Leave comments. I really do appreciate them, and I hope you will have seen that I do reply individually to them all as soon as possible. And I hope that everything is going okay with you when you're going out. Please be careful. You don't want to catch COVID. It's really, really not very nice. And though if you can get to the cinema and stay safe, please do, and support them, because I'm sure they are desperate to try and recover from the last batch still. And that's what I intend to do, which I didn't get to do last year. My intention was to, I just like everybody else, I would love to do a top 10 or top 5 or bottom 10, bottom 5, whatever films I saw last year at the cinema, whatever. And sadly I can't, because I didn't even get to see that many films at the cinema last year. My top films would be the same as my bottom films, just in the opposite order, because there was I was so restricted by work time, and partially, yes, a little bit of illness, but partially because I just didn't put enough effort into going down there. And I wish to address that certainly this year, and not and fulfill, don't just talk, actually do walk the walk, rather than just suggesting to everybody else they support their cinema, actually get down and do the job myself. So please keep on enjoying all those films, all that TV, and everybody else's YouTube as well as mine, I hope. And Cheers.